All right, y'all. So Prydwen ended up putting up the rankings for Nayuta, and a lot of people said, "Yo, Zxous, check it out. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy." So I'm gonna take a look at it. I do want to get some background music first because I did not set that up. So I'm sorry. I'm doing that mid video. I know. L-tuber. But yeah, we're gonna take a look and see exactly what we have here on Prydwen because I have received some comments saying, check it out. It's crazy, right? I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but we'll see, right? So let's take a look. We're on the website here. Where's Nikke? It used to be up here. What? Also, I will be trying out this Chaos Zero Nightmare game soon. Here it is. Okay. Check this. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't help but laugh. I just see so much red. I couldn't help but laugh. Okay, so Nayuta in triple S for low deficit, double S for high deficit, and double S for bossing, and S for PvP, which, you know what, valid. I'm glad that she at least got the S in PvP. I wasn't expecting to be triple S or anything like that, right? But I do think her little indomitability mechanic could be a big game changer in PvP. So I'm glad that she at least got the S. Now, high deficit PvP, high deficit story and bossing. Before I even check out why they possibly could have done this, I'm going to assume in Boston, because she's an AoE based character and they, like, you know, solo raid. You know how they are with solo raid, right? That's the main reason of why she's not getting that triple S tier. And then story deficit is mind boggling to me. Well, I mean, not necessarily. It's not that crazy. What's Scarlet Black Shadow SRE? Okay, they have the exact same tiers. Good. That's good. They better have the same tiers. What's Red Hood's? Oh. Okay. Okay. Who's in high deficit? Alice is in high deficit? Okay. Okay. So, okay, when it comes to Crown, obviously, I already made that video, like, Nayuta versus Crown, who's better, and I already know she's better, Crown is better than Nayuta. Do I disagree with the rankings? Do I think she should have been in triple S everywhere? I mean, again, like I said, PvP, she definitely should not have been triple S anywhere. There, S is good for PvP. In bossing, I feel like bossing is such a reach. Well, I don't want to say it's such a reach. That's quite crazy to say, but it's not crazy if she was to go in triple S in bossing. I need to see the review, please. Before I even, let me go to the pros and cons before I see anything else. So the strongest burst 2, unless Pierce Haven, okay. Buffs seem underwhelming, but they are actually very impactful. They only seem underwhelming because Crown exists. That's the only reason why people would say they seem underwhelming, because they don't. They just don't. Yeah. Offers an acceptable amount of healing. Okay. Probably the best healing we've seen in a while, right? If we're not considering Helm's burst skill, I think her healing in general might have been better than even Blanc's, right? I'm not sure about that, but like, I think so at least. A very powerful AoE cleaner, especially on stages on bosses against with a lot of mobs, but the damage is similar to Scarlet Black Shadow's distributed damage when there's a lot of mobs are around. Is similar to Scarlet Black Shadow's distributed damage when a lot of mobs are around. Now, if you guys don't know the reason why, like when Scarlet Black Shadow came out, they had a lot of problems, like Prydwen and the community, because Prydwen ranked Scarlet horrendously at the time because of his distributed damage, right? But Scarlet hit way too hard. My whole thing is, like, I feel like I don't want, and I'm not saying Prydwen is doing this, but I don't want that word distributed damage to be a reason why a character can never go to triple S. Because my whole thing is, if a character does 1 billion damage, and that's beyond the highest amount of damage you could do in the game, but it's distributed damage, they should never go to SS tier. And I'm not saying that's what Prydwen is doing, but it's like, I think, like, it's still a pro, sure, yeah. Best burst 2 for win week content, I mean, sure. Strongest rage bather, okay, sure. Let's take a look at her cons. She requires ton of investments to be meta. I don't agree. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't agree with that. I'm pulling up my channel right now. All right, to give you guys a decent example, right? So this right here is my Nayuta with no investments. Like, I'm talking 555, no gear, no overload gear, nothing. Just 555 as a cube and levels behind her. That's what she ended up doing. And I know it's like, okay, well, Zxous, I mean, they're clearly right. Scarlet Blackshot hit 1.7 billion. Little Mermaid hit, you know what I'm saying? But these characters all have overload gear and are 10-10-10. All three of those characters are overload gear and 10-10-10. Not to mention, 2 of them are attackers with attacker stats. If Nayuta is doing that, and I think this right here. Wait, let me double check. Was this against mobs or a boss? I think this was against mobs as well. Yeah, that was against a mob. That was against a mob, right? I feel like when they say, I need to finish that. What did they say? Compared to other burst 2s, which mostly require skills only, then they pay off though. Okay, the next time let me finish before I be like, hell no. Compared to other burst 2 characters, does she need investments? I mean, in the sense of, yeah, because she's a DPS. Yeah, I would say so. If we're comparing her to like burst 2 characters in general, then yeah. But if we're talking, it's only because of the DPS, so I guess sure. I don't know if that's really a con though, right? Because my whole thing is like, for example, who's another burst 2 DPS? Like I would say Grave is another burst 2 DPS, right? Like I would never say her con is that she needs investment to do damage because she can do damage, right? That's what I'm getting at here. You know what I mean? Because besides the damage, she doesn't need investment at all. All her skills come free, realistically, right? Besides the damage, all her skills really come free. So that's the only reason why I would say I could agree with that, right? Or I could like see that being a bit iffy. Power and value drops against target without a core. Power and value drops against target without a core. Okay, I get that. Yeah, it's because like obviously she like does more damage when attacking enemies with cores after being fully stacked up and stuff like that. But sure, sure, I guess. Right, I'm not even gonna like, because if I say, well, that's every character in the game, that's just cherry picking. I feel like if I was to say it right now and say, well, every single character he loses power and value against enemies without cores because they're just generally doing less damage, right? That's just me cherry picking, so I'll give them that. The value of Nayuta goes up and down depending on element, pierce, and burst generation requirements. That I agree with. She competes fiercely with 8 and Grave in non-wind elements. I agree. I agree with that. Yeah. Even on targets with core, she needs 90 seconds to ramp up her personal core damage buff, rendering parts of her kit useless in campaign stages. Okay. I need to put her back up. Part of her kits is such an exaggeration. Well, I guess not, because when you say part of her kit, right? When they say part of her kit, she's only losing this, right? But her losing this means that she's doing less damage on all of this and doing less damage on all of this. You get what I'm saying? So I'll give them that as well. I do also have a question. The freaking high deficit is something that's been thinking about like for a while. Like, why is that even like generally, I'm not even being funny or anything like that, but why is that even like a ranking? Right? Like, because from my understanding, high deficit is like basically, let's say the power stage is 1 million and you're 500k power, right? How good is a character if they're 500k power down? That's a high deficit, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, does that not sound a bit silly to y'all? I don't know. Maybe I'm just like overthinking it, but that just always sounds silly to me. Like if I'm not the power level, then, but I'm not saying like, oh, you can't participate in the game, because majority of this content is actually done like, my keys are, sorry. Nah, ignore me. Ignore me. Because then that would be saying like, oh, you have to do every single stage like with whatever power it is. That's just not how it is, right? So never mind. I just answered my own question. Interesting choice of skill sets by Shift Up this year, since they did not release any hyper meta Pilgrim / SO units on either anniversaries. The last hyper meta game defined Pilgrim being rappy. A New Year's instead. What? I don't know. No. I cannot let that one slide. What? Last hyper meta game defining Pilgrim being rappy. What are we considering hyper meta game defying change? Little Mermaid, hello? What are we considering hyper meta game defying Pilgrim? What are we considering that to be? Because I think a character that has field burst gauge, cooldown reduction, focus fire, insane damage, damage taken increase, attack damage buff, reload, attack buff, damage. I think a character that has almost everything you can have in this game is meta defying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Rappy is a meta-defining character in the sense of, like, you can use it as a burst 1 and burst 2 character, or burst 3 character, I mean. You can use it as a burst 1 or burst 3. I get that, right? But Little Mermaid is practically Rappy in the sense of, like, she's a burst 1 who's hitting as hard as some burst 3s, and then supporting you like a burst 1. Am I tripping, y'all? Maybe I'm tripping. Let me know down below. Genuinely, am I tripping? Is Little Mermaid not hyper defy? Is she not a meta character? No. That's not what they're saying. That's not what they're saying. Is she not a hyper meta game defying Pilgrim? Unless I don't understand what the hell they mean by this, like, let me know, right? But hey, I need to see the rankings for bossing. I want to see. Nayuta's not on the same level as Crown, but she's not far behind. Her supportive buffs are weaker, but she makes up for them through healing and personal damage. Against Wind Weak specifically, where her damage is amplified, Nayuta becomes the best burst 2. Nayuta will also be one of the best burst 2s if a boss demands healing. Shields is not enough. Nayuta also makes boss ads look like a joke with her continuous wipes. Remember Harvester? Oh, this is the whole paragraph. Oh my god. It seems Nayuta is a can do all burst too, but this is incorrect. She is a direct counter. She has a direct counter, and that is the lack of shield. Oh my god. Some bosses like Kraken and Ultra are still require shields because of how much it's like, I get that though. You know what's so crazy to me though, chat? I would actually risk, like, I would bet on this. But I guaranteed believe that if Crown never had a shield, none of that would be relevant to them. And I'm not saying like that wouldn't be relevant in the game, but that specific thing would not be relevant to them. Right? Because that should be compared specifically to Crown, which is sure, fair. You get what I'm saying? That's fair. That's fine. You could do that. Right? But it's as clear as day that if Crown never had a shield and nobody else in the game had a shield like how Crown has it, Nayuta would be triple S just because there's no shield to compare with. But because she's competing with somebody who has a shield that kind of helps you in those stages, that's why she's going down. That's my understanding. Or not my understanding, but that's like what I'm taking from that last sentence right there. You get what I'm saying? If Crown was in the game and she didn't have her shield and nobody else had the shield she had and Crown was triple S tier regardless, then would Nayuta also be triple S regardless? You get what I'm saying? Because then that shield thing would not matter. But because Crown has it, I feel like there's a counter to what I'm saying. I feel like I feel like you guys are gonna come correct in the comments. So please do, right? Because I please help me understand. But sure, I'm not saying that's wrong. Like, yeah, I proved that in my video. This is not wrong. I don't know why. Like, I don't know. Let me stop. I'm being biased, y'all. I want Nayuta to be the triple S, and I'm just like feelings getting the way of facts. That's what it is. I'm being biased. I love Nayuta so much. I've waited so long for her, and then like I don't like that Crown is still better than her. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't like Crown is still better than her. I'm letting my emotions get in the way of facts. This is not wrong. Sorry, Prydwen. I apologize. From the bottom of my heart, I apologize, Prydwen. This is not wrong. You're just right. I'm Nayuta. I've waited too long. Y'all gotta understand. I'm passionate. I'm passionate about this. You know what? Honestly, bro, I mean, I don't know what I'm like what I'm trying to get at here. I agree with them. I don't even know what I'm trying to get at here. I agree with them. I did not expect Nayuta to be triple S everywhere. I mean, it's not that I didn't expect it to be triple S everywhere. I felt like she could have been triple S in bossing and story. You know what I mean? I don't like, just because she's not as good as Crown, I still feel like Nayuta as a character is good enough to be triple S in all like those two things, right? And in PvP, S is fine, A is probably fine as well. S is very good or whatever, but I feel like Nayuta is good enough to be triple S in bossing and is very good enough to be triple S in story. I understand she lacks some things that Crown has, right? That makes Crown triple S and godlike and the best character in the game, whatever, yada yada yada. But I do think Nayuta does have some things in her kit that makes her triple S in some of these contents, right? I'm not saying that, oh, double S is a wrong tier for her, because that's still very high, right? That's still very, very, very high. That's really good. But like I said, I do think Nayuta is like, if you were to, if somebody said, okay, Zxous, who would like, who should you reroll for, Nayuta or freaking like, who's another character in S tier? Would I tell people to pick Nayuta over Red Hood? Would I tell people to pick Nayuta over Little Mermaid? I mean, maybe Little Mermaid. I think Nayuta over Little Mermaid, for sure. In the sense of like, if I could only have one of these two and I'm relying on one of these two to help me get far, and I'm picking Nayuta over Little Mermaid because she herself actually has the stuff behind her. Little Mermaid is more of a support for your other characters. Nayuta the support and the DPS herself. So she has both of those roles, right? Crown is a character who just makes anybody you have so good. And Nayuta is also that character as well. That's why I think I'd pick, like, I think Nayuta's up there for like starting picks, guaranteed. Because again, her buffs are not as strong as Crown's. Yes, very true. But her buffs are very strong at the end of the day. Her, you know, she might not have a shield like Crown. Yes, but her damage is very, very good to get you far enough, right? Especially since you like, who do they have in SS tier again? Right? I haven't done this testing myself, but I wouldn't be surprised if freaking Nayuta hit harder than Alice. Right? Because everybody says Scarlet Black Shadow hits harder than Alice. I haven't actually done that comparison, Alice for Scarlet Black Shadow, right? I've never done that comparison. I can't say for myself. But I've seen so many people say Scarlet Black Shadow is the second strongest DPS in the game. I've seen a lot of people say that. And if she's the second best after Cinderella, that means Alice would be the third best. My thing is Nayuta hits harder than Scarlet Black Shadow. Right? And besides Alice's damage, and I guess Pierce, that's probably why, realistically, the Pierce. No, but in story high deficit, like, you get what I'm saying? In the story high deficit, I don't know. But then again, she does require godlike investment. Sell your soul and then play with her funny and you get good numbers. I don't know. I mean, I don't disagree with Prydwen's tier list. I apologize, Prydwen, from the outburst. But you guys let me know what you think. Do you guys agree with Prydwen? Do you guys think Prydwen made a mistake? Do you guys agree with them? I don't know. It's your boy Zxous. I'm out. Peace.